Hello, everyone. I wanted to come online and talk a little bit about spiritual practices and stress. This has been something that's been percolating within me for a number of months, and I wanted to have an opportunity right now. I've been getting quite a number of calls in the past few days from people who are experiencing a lot of stress, and with that, a lot of physical symptoms that come as a result of stress. So I'm really feeling like this is the time that we need to make this connection between our spiritual practices and our overall health and wellness. So I could go into a lot of detail about the vagus nerve and the body stress response. I'll spare you those details, but for those of you curious, I would encourage you to do some Googling and search the vagus nerve, VAGUS nerve, and vagus tone at getting the nerve in our body that is responsible for a lot of the fight and flight response to calm down into that rest and digest mode. And the things that do that are things that I consider as spiritual practices and help us bring us back home to ourselves, to a sense of being centered and grounded. The very first and most important thing that we can do is to breathe. Whenever we're under stress, we end up having what I think of as a held breath episode when we're having actually a traumatic experience. We hold our breath, but we also tend to breathe very shallowly from the top of our lungs when we're under a lot of stress. And when we take a deep breath, it signals to our body that everything is okay, that we're safe, and it gets our thinking brain back online. Because the first thing that goes is usually our ability to think clearly and do critical thinking. And we get caught up in all of the things we're hearing and the worry and the stress. So I invite people to just pause, to take a deep breath, fill up from the belly the whole way up to the top, breathing in, holding and pausing, and then exhaling, allowing that relaxation response. There's many ways out there that you can read about to do breathing, but I like to do something where I'm breathing in, I'm holding, and then I'm releasing. Something else that might be a helpful way to breathe is to breathe in and then smile and try to relax the brow and the eyes, allow them to soften, and then exhale. When we do that, we allow some of that dopamine and some of those feel good hormones to be released when we're smiling. One of the things that happens when we're under a lot of stress is we stop smiling and we worry, the brow wrinkles up. So you can do some simple relaxation by rubbing your brow, by stretching your neck, releasing a lot of the tension that we're holding in the neck and the jaw. You can do the what I call the home alone, where you're pushing in and relaxing the jaw muscles that have a lot of tension. We want to do that because we want to connect the head, the thinking brain, with the heart, our heart brain, and also with our gut, our belly brain. There is a connection between those three with the various nerves that are responsible for fight and flight. And we want to keep that area opened up and working well. So we want to do things that allow us to feel good and to be connected to our soul, the things that really make our heart sing. And that might actually literally be singing or humming, um, watching funny movies and happy videos of puppies and things like that that make us smile and laugh, not getting caught up in all of the things out there that make us worry. It's time to do some fasting from the things that are causing us so much information overload. So I encourage you to spend time and just do some breathing. Hey, Joanne, glad you joined me. Um, it's good that we can also, we talked about the laughing and the smiling, getting those things that give us a sense of pleasure, but also doing practices that allow us to feel calm and centered. And so it might be something like coloring mandalas is a thing that I often enjoy doing. Doing some crossword puzzles, things that are enjoyable, reading, talking on the phone with people during this time of not being connected physically with other people, we can still make that connection. with others. And so writing letters, reaching out to other people where you feel like you're getting outside of yourself. Um, Other spiritual practices are important right now while we're not restricted to actually be outside. It's so important that we're getting out and we're being in nature. We're breathing that fresh air. Actually, there's studies that are showing that cold air on our face is really helpful for us. We're not really sure the mechanism of why that interrupts the vagus nerve, but it's important to help us calm that down, that nerve down. So getting outside and walking in nature as much as we can is really important. Um, Energy practices that help move the energy through our body. So the simplest is walking, but there are a lot of Qigong and Tai Chi practices, even yoga positions that help these flows that the Chinese, traditional Chinese medicine have recorded over many centuries. We want to get that movement through our body. And so doing some of those practices, you can find all kinds of YouTube videos that are simple to follow along with. And so you might want to try some of those to help get that movement of energy flowing through your body. You'll look on my DW Healing Arts page and I'll find links that I'll put there so you can practice and follow along with some of those. The other thing you really want to do is we talked earlier about stretching the neck muscles and relaxing that. And so if you hold your hands behind your head, you want to come back to the back behind the neck and you're pulling the tension off. So bringing it up to the top of your head, and you can sweep across the brow. You can even do some massaging of the head, and you want to try to relax a lot of those muscles that are getting us tense. You can also put a hand on your shoulder, lean to one side, taking a breath, and exhaling, and to the other side. Take a breath and exhale, release. Another spiritual practice that's really important is the positive thoughts that we have and the ways that we, whether we're praying or meditating, we want to fill our mind with positive thoughts right now. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Really, that's what a lot of the placebo effect is that we see in medical research, is that our mind is a very powerful tool and it directs the unconscious and what happens within us. And so as we worry, those things we worry about start to happen. And if we focus on the positive, on being healthy, on being well. So I want to think about this continuum of wellness, of moving away from health and moving towards greater health. And are the things that I'm doing helping me move towards greater health and wellness? And so what can you do to help be healthy? So that might be some of the practices we talked about, but if we think positively, if we do, my favorite is the loving kindness prayer. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be well. May I be at peace. And then you can expand that to others and name individuals or groups of people and eventually to the whole world. May we as the world be happy. May we as the world be safe. May we as the world be well, and may we as the world be at peace. And to say that prayer over and over like a mantra, repeating it in our mind and keeping us healthy. There's many other practices that you can do, spiritual practices in terms of eating and having healthy gut health and thinking about the foods that we're putting in our bodies during this time to move us towards greater health and not getting caught up in a lot of stress eating. Anything that helps you be centered and grounded. There's all kinds of things that we use that make us feel good. I enjoy things like essential oils. I know we can't make claims about what oils will do from a medical standpoint, but I know personally that when I breathe in scents, it helps me to feel good. And there is such a thin blood-brain barrier between the nasal cavity and the brain that a lot of times the oils that we smell, even things like the scent of homemade bread, can bring us back to a happy memory. And so you want to surround yourself and your environment with things that smell good. There's many other things we can do, so I encourage you to pause, to spend time in silence, to do some singing, to breathe, to do things that help ground you and help you feel safe and happy and well and at peace. And may those things help you to move towards greater health and well-being. So please share this with your friends who are stressed out and worried about life right now, and encourage them to also breathe and help support each other. So thanks, and keep in touch with DW Healing Arts. I hope to post more things in the coming weeks and months to help you to be well. Thanks again. Bye.